That boy doesn't belong in first class. Somebody move him before we take off. The sentence sliced through the hushed luxury of Pacific Sovereign Airlines Flight 221, Los Angeles to Tokyo Haneda. Edward Marshall, 54, silver-haired venture capitalist, bespoke linen jacket, Rolex the size of a saucer, stood in the aisle pointing at seat 1A. His voice had the brittle authority of a man who had never been contradicted in decades of yacht club board meetings. Seat 1A belonged to Jordan Carter, a 17-year-old black student whose oversized Caltech hoodie, beat-up sneakers, and noise-canceling headphones made him look more like a gamer than the heir to an aviation empire. He was revising Python code for an autonomous drone demo while an encrypted hard case at his feet guarded contracts worth $11 billion. Jordan hadn't heard Marshall's outburst until the cabin fell silent and every eye swung toward him. Hannah Liu, lead flight attendant, hurried forward. "Mr. Marshall, please return to your seat while we finish boarding." "I paid $16,000 to sit up here," Marshall barked. "I'm not sharing the cabin with a stowaway." Jordan slid off his headphones. "Sir, I'm not a stowaway." Marshall's pale eyes narrowed. "Show me the credit card that bought that seat." Jordan lifted his boarding pass. 1A Jordan Carter. "It's fake," Marshall declared. "Kids like you belong behind the curtain, not in a suite." 2 rows back, travel vlogger Catherine Diaz angled her phone. The red record light blinked. Beside her, Sunil Patel, a Japanese-born venture capital partner, folded his newspaper. Years of boardroom battles told him a viral train wreck was starting. Hannah kept her smile pasted on. "Mr. Marshall, our system verified every passenger. Please sit." Marshall ignored her, thumb already stabbing at his titanium iPhone. "Get me Black Diamond Concierge," he told the automated menu. "Security breach on 221. The word breach rippled down the aisle like turbulence. Cameras rose, whispers buzzed. Jordan tried quiet logic. "Sir, I didn't pay for this ticket personally. My family's corporate account." "Corporate account?" Marshall laughed. "Whose?" "A streetwear label." The insult hit harder than the words. It was the contempt. Jordan's jaw tightened, but he kept his voice steady. "Pacific Sovereign Holdings." Hannah froze. The manifest tag VIP Founders Family suddenly flashed through her mind. She'd never met Jordan Carter, but she knew the initials. PSH, David Carter, founder and majority owner of this very airline. A black man who built the company from one leased turboprop to a trans-Pacific powerhouse. Hannah's professionalism warred with policy, no revealing VIP identities. She opened her mouth, closed it, and prayed for backup. Backup came from Catherine Diaz's out-loud narration to her 320,000 followers. Entitled White Tech Bro Harris's Teenage Black Passengers in First Class, live from LAX, she announced. Viewers ballooned past 10,000 in 30 seconds. Hashtag Marshall Meltdown trended before pushback. Marshall's concierge finally answered. He spoke loud enough for the cabin to hear. "Yes, Caroline, it's Edward. I'm looking at a security risk in 1A. Claims he's on a corporate ticket. Get someone to pull him before we leave the gate." Captain Kenji Matsuda stepped out of the cockpit, crisp blue uniform, calm as night water. "Good afternoon. I'm Captain Matsuda. Mr. Marshall, what exactly is the security threat?" He admitted he didn't pay, Marshall said, voice rising. "He's dressed like an extra from a rap video. I'm not risking my life or my portfolio." Sunil Patel spoke for the first time, tone mild but carrying. "Sir, clothing isn't a risk factor. Bigotry is." Marshall spun. "Stick to your spreadsheets, buddy." Captain Matsuda's jaw ticked. "Mr. Marshall, unless you have evidence of wrongdoing, you are disrupting flight operations." Marshall's concierge put him on hold. Vivaldi's "For Seasons" leaked from the speaker. He pocketed the phone and doubled down. "I will not sit until this fraud is removed." Jordan exhaled through his nose. He could end the farce with one call to his father, but something in him, curiosity, maybe pride, wanted to see how strangers would respond without a trump card. Instead he asked, "Define fraud." Marshall sputtered. "This seat costs more than your annual tuition." "I have a full ride," Jordan said, deadpan, and Catherine's viewers spammed laughing emojis. Hannah touched her earpiece, listening to a message from the ground lounge. Her eyes widened. She hurried to Captain Matsuda and whispered 6 words. "Mr. Carter's father is here now." The captain's brow lifted. He nodded, keyed his interphone, and ordered the jet bridge re-extended. Marshall mistook the flurry of activity as vindication. Finally, they're removing him. No one corrected him. 2 minutes later, the forward door reopened. David Carter strode in, tall, charcoal suit, no tie, presence like quiet thunder. Press photos did not capture the authority he radiated in person. He paused, scanned the cabin, and settled on the tableau. His son seated, Marshall looming. Hannah stepped aside. "Sir, welcome aboard." Marshall blinked. "Who are you?" David Carter's voice was soft velvet over steel. "The owner of this aircraft." Air sucked out of the aisle. Catherine's live stream exploded past 100,000. Marshall's jaw slackened. I was just protecting my passengers." David finished. "Let's discuss." He gestured toward an empty suite, but Marshall stayed rooted, eyes darting. Jordan met his father's gaze. An entire conversation passed in that glance. David addressed the cabin loudly enough for every phone mic. Pacific Sovereign Airlines has zero tolerance for discrimination. A valid ticket, not skin color, not wardrobe, decides who belongs here. Marshall rallied, clutching his privilege like a flotation device. "This is a misunderstanding. I'm a Platinum Apex member, 2 million miles." David nodded. "And those miles came with a requirement. Treat other guests with respect." He turned to Captain Matsuda. "Captain, is this flight safe to continue with Mr. Marshall aboard?" The captain answered without hesitation. "In my judgment, sir, Mr. Marshall's behavior poses a disruption risk." "Agreed," David said. "Please offload him and his luggage." The cabin burst into applause, a sound that made Marshall flinch as if slapped. "You can't do this," he hissed. "I have board seats I invest in." "You just lost Pacific Sovereign's seat and its business," David replied. "Our legal department will send details." "Escort him, please." Airport security appeared. Marshall's protest shriveled into a humiliating scoff as he gathered his Hermes briefcase and shuffled down the jet bridge. Catherine's lens followed him until the door sealed. Silence reigned a beat, then David faced the passengers. "Thank you for your patience. Drinks are on me tonight." The whoop that followed rattled crystal glasses. David knelt by his son. "You okay?" Jordan nodded. "Better than he is." "Proud of you for staying calm," David murmured, then addressed Hannah. "Miss Liu, the crew did well. Yet this incident shows our bias training isn't finished. Let's fix that together." Hannah's eyes shone. "Yes, sir." Captain Matsuda retook the cockpit. Pushback resumed. 2 hours later, somewhere over the Pacific, Catherine's phone pinged breaking news. 3 rival airlines had already placed Edward Marshall on internal watch lists. Venture capital forums buzzed with rumors his limited partners were reviewing conduct clauses. Hashtag miles of privilege hit #1 worldwide. Sunil Patel toasted Jordan with sparkling water. "You just rewrote every corporate DI slide deck for the next decade." Jordan laughed. "I only wanted to finish my code." "Mission accomplished," David said, walking past. He paused, handed his son a thumb drive. "Tokyo team will meet us at Haneda. Your algorithm back-tested like a dream." Jordan grinned, first full smile since boarding. 6 months later, the story of Flight 221 opened every ethics seminar in aviation. Pacific Sovereign's new dignity at altitude charter, crew empowered to intervene, real-time bias reporting, passenger dignity board with teeth, was adopted by 16 international carriers. Complaint rates dropped by half, stock price rose 10%. Catherine Diaz's documentary Sweet Justice won a Peabody. Sunil Patel's fund launched an inclusion tech accelerator seeded with Carter Capital. And Edward Marshall? He traveled by private car and trans-Pacific cargo ship now. No major airline would sell him a seat at any class or price. Occasionally someone in an airport lounge would glance at him, squint, and whisper, "Aren't you that guy from the video?" His cheeks still burned crimson every time. But the point, as Jordan often told interviewers, wasn't one man's fall.